Olivia has just lost her best friend Jane after Jane committed suicide during the school break. She is left to resume school on her own, and on that fateful day she dresses up to go to school. She meets a colleague, Isabel, by her street and asks if Isabel would like a ride, but Isabel claims her boyfriend is coming to pick her up. Olivia drives to school alone and she joins the assembly where the teacher tries to admonish the student that the door is always open for counseling and suicide isn't an option. Olivia has no other friend than Jane, so it is difficult for her to cope at school. She opens her locker and sees Jane's picture there. She also overhears colleagues speculating about how she's coping with the situation due to perceived challenges for anyone. During school, Olivia goes to attend a debate competition as the head of the debate committee, and she mistakenly zones out during the debate, thereby wasting time to finish her argument. Fortunately, she wins regardless. She meets the teacher in charge of the committee, Mr. Richardson, and asks if she didn't make many mistakes. As Richardson speaks to her, another student, Camille, interferes. Richardson introduces Camille as a transfer student from Fairstone High School in New York and tells Olivia that Camille will be joining the team, and she is also a great debater. However, Olivia isn't comfortable with the way Camille had dragged Richardson from their conversation. That night, Olivia eagerly sends her application to Stanford and even refreshes the page several times. Before sleeping, she stalks Camille's social media and gets jealous after knowing she has received many good comments. The next day after class, she receives a notification only to know that her application has been deferred. She gets upset and starts to get deeply emotional. She even sees an illusion of Jane. The next moment, she rushes to the restroom to vomit. After rinsing, she heads to wash her hands and spots Camille nearby. Camille shoots her an unwelcome glance before she leaves. She walks to the counselor's office, unable to hold back her tears in time. The lady consoles her and suggests that she submit a personal appeal to the admissions board. Knowing that she still stands a chance to get accepted into Stanford, she decides to do that and walks to the debating club. She sees Camille there chatting with Richardson. While Olivia already does not like Camille, she gets even more frustrated when Richardson pairs her up with Camille for debating practice. Throughout the whole practice, Olivia gets annoyed by Camille for pointing out her mistakes. Camille asserts her debate wins and wants Olivia to use her points. Olivia counters with her wins, but Camille wants to focus on the flaws in Olivia's recent debate. Camille sees Richardson coming, and she quickly changes and says she is ready to help. Olivia instantly gets triggered and faints due to an anxiety attack. When she eventually wakes, she sees Jane again standing amongst the rest. Richardson then suggests that she pull out from the next tournament due to her stress, and this upsets her even more. She then vents her frustration in the car, and Isabel approaches her, offering her a ride home. Before leaving the car, Isabel hugs her and tells her she misses Jane too. Olivia returns home and joins her parents for dinner but lacks appetite due to the fact that Camille is slowly taking over her position. The following day, Olivia overhears Camille telling the girls that she is the captain for the weekend debate. Olivia gets emotional again, worrying that she might get permanently replaced. Later, in front of her locked mirror, Olivia sees Jane again but vanishes instantly as soon as she turns around. Isabel comes to ask her if she needs a ride, but she asks Isabel to have a meal with her instead. During lunch, she tells Isabel that she's going through. Curious about Camille's transfer, Isabel discovers that it happens due to Camille framing a teacher for sexual assault. That night, Olivia researches more about the issue, and she finds the court order. She attends Camille's debate the next day, but she isn't mentally present. She shows the court order to Isabel, who suggests they should open an anonymous Connect account to mess with Camille's mind. When they decide to do that with Isabel's old laptop, they find out Jane's account is logged into the system. Olivia decides to use Jane's account, since Camille doesn't know Jane, and she starts messaging Camille. Olivia uses the account to send Camille a screenshot of the court order. Eventually, Camille is asked to go to the principal's office in the midst of a class. The girls then check on Camille's social media account again and realize it has been removed. Olivia then discovers from Richardson that Camille got transferred to another school. This news cheers Olivia as it allows her to stay as the debate team captain. The following day, one of the teachers, Mrs. West, fails them harshly on their test. Olivia tries to speak with Isabel about how they could deal with her, but Isabel isn't really interested. She goes shopping with Isabel, and they eventually decide to deal with Mrs. West. Isabel messes with the projector to trigger Mrs. West, while Olivia takes a video when Mrs. West reacts. They post the video on Jane's account and it instantly goes viral online. Mrs. West is fired from her job the following day. Principal Mrs. Rhodes talks to the students about the severity of cyberbullying using a deceased student's account. However, the girls deny any involvement or confession. Jane's account gains lots of followers in a short time, and the girls keep using the account to bully anyone who comes in their way. They then find a post on Jane's account which is not done by either of them. This puzzles them. The following day, Olivia sees Isabel hanging up a Stanford flag, which signifies that she has gotten a slot. Isabel feels bad because Olivia is not selected, And after she leaves, Olivia tears and sees Jane again removing the flag, but Olivia puts it back up. Feeling depressed, Olivia loses another competition. That night, Isabel visits her with a drink and begs her to follow her to Phil's party. She admits to breaking up with Phil and asks Olivia to accompany her to the party by lending her some clothes. Olivia eventually decides to go. At the party, Isabel spots Josa with Phil, confirming her suspicions that Josa has been flirting with him. It's only been a few days since Isabel and Phil broke up. As they dance, Josa asks if Olivia is okay, but Isabel sends her away. Isabel and Olivia meet at the restroom, where Isabel is glad that she can leave everything behind when she gets admitted to the university. Olivia and Isabel eventually plan to place drugs in Josa's drinks. They place the drugs into her drink and pass it to Josa. After drinking, they dance together, while Olivia and Isabel meet to talk. Isabel tells her how happy she's feeling and also apologizes for not telling Olivia about Stanford and leaving Jane and Olivia during the break. They suddenly hear some commotion and find Josa struggling on the dance floor due to the effects of the drugs. Olivia then sees Jane again, recording the entire scene with a phone. The following day, they realize the video has been posted on Jane's account. They accuse each other of doing it, but they realize they were both asleep when it was posted, and they didn't even take the video. So they decided to delete the account, which they did. The next morning, Olivia's mother asks her about her involvement in the cyberbullying, which she denies and goes to her room. She then sees Jane again using her laptop. The following day, Olivia and Isabel discover that Jane's account has been reactivated, which puzzles them. Principal Rhodes calls the students, and she tells them Josa is still in the intensive care unit. She insists she will get to the bottom of the matter and will interview all the students. Isabel tells Olivia that Jane's account keeps reactivating no matter how many times she deletes it, but Olivia tells her that it must be a glitch. The girls then practice to ensure they have the same answers for their interviews with the principal. During Olivia's interview, she sees Jane standing behind Rhodes. Rhodes then receives a call, and Olivia finds out they want to track the IP address of the account. Feeling anxious, Olivia leaves and sees Jane all around her. She then passes out. She tells Isabel, who suggests that they confess, but she refuses. Upon learning from Isabel's dad's library that they can use a VPN, making their IP address untraceable, they feel relieved. Olivia meets Camille at a cafe, and Camille asks to speak with her. Camille apologizes for her attitude and tells Olivia that someone blackmailed her with Jane's account. She also explains that the incident from her previous school was covered up in favor of the teacher, making it look like it was her fault. Feeling guilty about what she has done to Camille, Olivia breaks down in the restroom and sees Jane in the mirror again. The following day, Isabel inquires with Olivia about Josa's Stanford acceptance, to which Olivia responds with uncertainty. Feeling extremely jealous, Olivia composes a message to Rhodes to pin the crime on Isabel, but cannot bring herself to do it. On the day of her national qualifiers debate, she receives a call from Isabel, who says she knows Olivia was lying about the VPN and plans to rat her out. She says she is going to confess everything to the school first. Olivia drives to her house and tries to convince her, but Isabel refuses, and she gets a call from the school. Before she picks up, Olivia throws her phone away and drags her into the pool. Olivia accidentally drowns Isabel and covers up the scene as a suicide case. She posts on Isabel's account confessing to the crimes, saying she is dying to pay for her crimes. She makes it back in time for her competition and nails it. After that, news about Isabel starts spreading. Upon arriving at home, she's interviewed by the police. She claims Isabel wished her success in their last talk before the competition. The officers leave, and at school, Rhodes admonishes the students again. Olivia eventually gets into Stanford. She talks about why she wants to study mental health and help people like her best friend, Isabel. In the closing scene, before her speech, Olivia sees Jane as part of her audience, smiling at her. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a like to help the channel out, and also leave a comment if you'd like us to recap your favorite movie. Thanks for watching.